Yep. When I get my microphone right before I kick off the cold open, I got Billy Rice on the show tonight. Stick around. If things go well, this should be a masterclass in business. And all joking aside, I always learn a lot from Billy. I'm looking forward to having him back on the show. It's been about a year and a half. Let's get right back to it. Man, check. Hello. I was just laughing because I went to start my cold open and my microphone wasn't in front of me. And then somehow when the show started, it's never muted when I click live, man. Do you guys remember your first day at your jobs too? Yeah. Thank you for being here. I got Billy Rice on the show tonight. It's only going to get better from here. That's the good news of everything. Thank y'all for being here. I'm still experimenting with this new kind of layout thing. There's actually 2 streams going, which is kind of fun. There's the classic classic landscape version on YouTube going horizontal, which is why I keep doing this. But also StreamYard now streams to vertical presentation on YouTube as well. And on a sample size of 2, a little hack has been that viewership has been way up, probably 50 to 60% increase in viewership with the vertical presentation. And interestingly enough, engagement has stayed pretty high, not quite as high as the landscape, but pretty high. So, people want to be reached on these things. And if you can reach them vertically, seems to go pretty far. So anyhow, thanks everybody for being here. Got Billy Rice on the show tonight from Rice Family Reptiles. I think that if you're in the world of ball pythons, you probably are aware of Billy. If not, then I'm excited to introduce you to him tonight. From the outside, I don't know. We'll dig in a little bit and learn. Maybe there's always something below the surface, But on the surface, Billy certainly seems very successful. He can tell a little bit about his own story, but there is a partnership with Justin Kabilka from Canova. And on top of that, there's a cool family business and genuinely good people. I count it as a blessing when I get to hang out with any of the Rice family in person. And we've gotten to a few times over the years now in our respective journeys and when we get to vend some of the national shows and when we get to hang out here. So I've been really looking forward to having Billy back. He's going to be on in just one moment. I really don't have too much in the way of announcements. I've got my last show in person, my last expo in person of the year will be December 21st at the Snake Discovery Show here in Hastings, Minnesota. Well, I say here, Hastings is a suburb of Minneapolis. So here in Minnesota in Hastings, I will be at that show in person. If you are local or regional and you're concerned about shipping issues coming up with the weather changing, we did get our first snow, I think this morning from what I saw. I mean, I saw snow this morning, but I think that was the first here in Minnesota. Anyway, I'll be pivoting to sort of a local regional business focus because shipping does get difficult. This thing keeps... I don't know what's going on with my equipment. Everything was fine this evening. And then the show started. Look at it. It's just falling down. All right, we're going to fix this. Hang on. Let's do this way. And then it doesn't have anywhere to fall. And I'll just fix the sound. There we go. Anyhow, what I'm saying is if you are interested in purchasing anything, check it out. Do it soon. properroyals.com. I actually have quite a lot of hatchlings. That website will get updated this week. And then, of course, with Thanksgiving week shipping kind of shuts down. So next week I will be able to ship out. It'll be warm enough. I'll be able to receive shipping as well. I doubt I'll buy anything, but who knows? But I will be going to FedEx over the next week. So if there's anything you see, I would be grateful for you to check it out. Otherwise, I'll be looking local. And then if there are things nationwide that you would normally need to ship, rent is free. I don't charge rent for purchased animals, and I'll get it out to you when it's safe. So I really don't think I'll ship between Thanksgiving and Christmas. Maybe, I don't know, maybe there'll be a little window. I'll keep an eye on what Redline says. But after Christmas in January, usually once a month, we get a little bit of enough of a thaw or a warm up in the daytime where I can get animals out safely, and I'll get them out to you. Okay. So anyhow, that's coming up. That's what comes with Minnesota winter. Coming to you ad-free tonight, uninterrupted. 40 of you hanging out. How cool was that? Thank you. Ad-free by the good people at Palm Street. I've been doing this live every Tuesday, just live from the shop, like doing cleaning, talking about the snakes that I'm cleaning. If I end up pulling a snake that is for sale, showing that snake off a little bit. If somebody sees something in my shop that they're interested in and want to know more about, I can pull it out and show them. And anyhow, come hang out. If you want to see what Palm Street's about, download the app and check in on Tuesdays on Proper Royals at Palm Street. So it's been a pretty fun thing. And I know some of the narrative. I've been selling stuff at retail. Yeah, not too bad. The auctions are cool, but we all like retail as well. So maybe we'll touch base on that a little bit too. You could catch Billy Rice on Palm Street with his family as well. So we'll get into that. Thanks for hanging out tonight. If you've not been here before, I hope you enjoy the show. I hope that you consider liking and subscribing. Do the show every Tuesday night with a focus on business and ball python and reptile industries, and try and be as transparent as possible. So there you go. Hope to see you soon. I can't remember exactly when I met or first crossed paths with Billy. I know that he did my show about a year and a half ago. And in one way, it seems longer than that, but in other ways, it seems like we've worked together more often. But I think it's just that we've seen each other and hung out a little bit at shows around the country. I've gotten to know his wife, Dawn, at Tinley. Billy and I didn't actually connect, but I saw Dawn probably 3 or 4 times and hung out a little bit. And his family has a Channing, I believe is her name, has a great blossoming business as well. So lots to get into tonight. Enough of me rambling. Please welcome back to the Proper Royal stage. At least the second time. I know once on this show, once in Schaumburg at the Redline booth. So maybe the third time, or however you count the stages. Anyway, enough of that. Please welcome Billy Rice from Rice Family Reptiles. Billy, good to see you, sir.
Adam. Thank you for having me.
It's always a pleasure. You're always welcome. And thanks for being here. Sorry to, is there anything more awkward than talking about the guests while they're listening to you in the green room before they come on? Like it's.
Well, I was just going to say, I know you had a mute problem there at the start, so you may just want to mute me a little bit.
No, I wouldn't do that. I'll take the mutes for the evening for all of us. I don't know what it is. I've been using StreamYard actually from the start of doing this show, to tell you the truth. I have never once had to hit unmute after the intro plays. Like the music stops and then I go. And I was laughing at myself because I screwed up the intro before the intro and then the mute was on. Anyway, I think we can all empathize that stuff happens and you got to go on, especially when it's live, right?
That's right.
Hey, thanks for being here. I like to keep, or I'm okay with keeping certain conversations private. I know you've got a bit going on, to say the least, and I appreciate you making time tonight. You are actually extremely generous with your time. You do a lot of podcasts. You do a lot of YouTube videos as well, and you have a whole lot going on. I don't think you've got any less busy than we talked a year and a half ago. I mean, you're
way more.
That's what I thought. There's been a pretty big recent expansion with the Kittinger acquisitions, but I also catch wind and hear conversations of, there's the rodent production behind the scenes, and you seem to go a mile a minute, Billy. Is that true? How does that all work together for you?
Absolutely. So one of the things that we wanted to do here from the start is always have our own rodent supply, because we're so rural, we have no choice on that. So we would drive hours to get rodents here. So um, it's absolutely necessary for us to have that. And early on in that, we did without rodents a little bit, like ran out of supply as we were growing, and it was just from hatching so many babies at one time. And it wasn't much because we didn't have but like 4 racks of and I say racks, it wasn't but like 4 tubs per rack. It wasn't like the big freedom breeder racks that we have now. So it was like four just regular homemade racks with 7 tubs each, and we ran out of rodents. And I said from then on, we're not going to be doing that here where we live. Like, we're going to always have enough. So that just added to way overproduction, and then of course selling. And we ended up becoming a food dealer for our the brand of food that we carry for our rodents, and then we also sell our rodents that we overproduce.
Can you talk a little bit about being a distributor or a seller of the rodent food?
Yeah, we just did that because, one, we wanted to lower our costs,
Right.
then our local food company dropped the line that we were using. So we ended up being able to just reach out to them directly and become the dealer in this area for it. And so we decided to do that right off the bat, and it dropped us like $4 per bag. So that was a big deal. So now we're able to save people money, like our customers that buy from us and that are close enough that they can pick up and things like that. We really cut their costs on rodent food.
Is that a model that you like? Like, I think about it where, like, again, I mean, everybody knows my background comes from restaurants and music. Like, if I have trouble sourcing beef, that's the equivalent of just saying, hey, there's a local farmer there. Why don't we either partner with or buy a portion of that business? Is that a model that you like, or is it just 100% out of necessity? And is it something you would prefer not to do if you didn't have to do it, so to speak? And we haven't named the company, so we're not throwing anybody under the bus either at the moment. What I'm saying is, I feel like you can answer freely if you like. I don't know.
No. Yeah, it isn't that we really view the rodent thing as a way to cut costs. So like, by selling them, we're able to produce our snakes at a lot lower cost per animal. And we're even expanded on that a little bit to make it even less cost than it is now. So I really like the way that we have it structured, because I view it kind of like a sawmill. I'm in the timber industry.
That's right. Yes, sir.
So I view it like a sawmill. So your sawmill sells the bark off the trees. It sells the actual chips where you saw the lumber up, but then it sells the lumber. But the only thing they're known for, really, by the public, is selling lumber all the time. So, but the chips and the bark that they sell, that covers a lot of their costs, and that's their byproduct. So they're actually making money off their byproducts, and a lot of the mills even use the byproducts as energy. So that's the way I view all of this. This is one of the few industries where you can do something and be the beginning, the actual beginning of it, without a middleman, and be the actual end supplier of it. So it's very little businesses you can start out there where you can be the entire food chain there, to where you're getting both the beginning of it and the end results of it. There's very few.
You just have to juggle all those balls, though, which is
starts
to become.
You've got to be willing to do that.
Yeah, and starts to become a jack of all trades, so to speak.
Yes.
There's a lot of skill sets that you have to learn along the way, and I'm starting to empathize with that a little bit, and that's actually going to get a little bit at what we talk about. I was smirking when you said that about selling the bark, selling the chips, selling the final wood product. I just was in a business conversation this weekend with somebody, and what you described is exactly the baked potato model, or the potato model, I call it, from my Ruby Tuesday days. We would bake potatoes that would be sides on an entree, and a full baked potato takes an hour. So we would do it on a 30-minute rotation, and there were 2 drawers. So the first potato goes in the top drawer. After 30 minutes, those get moved to the second drawer. Fresh ones come in. If the bottom ones don't sell in another half hour, then they go into the walk-in cooler where they cool down. And then the pulp is turned into the potato salad on the salad bar, and the skins are turned into the potato skin appetizer, and those go in the freezer. And we get to them when we get to them to use them because they're preserved in the freezer. And when you said that about the timber, I was like, this is the same. These are like basic fundamentals. And when you find those types of products, you leverage every penny you can get from those products. I mean, is that kind of what you're saying on whether it be the rodents into the snakes or even the food that goes into the rodents into the snakes?
Absolutely. That's exactly what we're doing. So every bit that we sell, any profits we make, and a lot of times we're only trying to make like $2 a bag off our customers. So we're trying to cut their costs, which from what we've seen is as much as $6 and $7 a bag from what they're paying. And, the more they buy, the more discount they get. And so not only are we cutting costs for our customers, but we're making profits there, which feed a few more of our animals, rats anyway, for free, which gives us more lower cost animals for that. But we're also just way overproducing. So we're selling a lot of rodents, and it's good profit margins on the rodents. So it's not anything that I want to do at a really just monstrous level. But like I said, deferring costs of the business and being both the beginning of the end of the food chain to where we actually control every single bit of it. We're controlling exactly what's going into our rodents, which is going into our snakes, and then also we're controlling the fact that we can have as many projects as we want without it costing us too much money.
Something that a thought that's been in my head, I was going to say lately, but really since the very, very beginning, and it's how it started. So you have a logging business, and is that the core? Is that still the core of the house around you? What funds your family? What makes sure that the dreams live and go forward, and there's college or car payments or what? I mean, all of that stuff. Is that from the logging industry still
Absolutely,
for you?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So for me, it's my restaurant consulting that's still that. I got out of restaurant operations. I couldn't do that anymore, and I couldn't be the father and husband and dad and family man and the dreams that I want to have doing the operations. But the consulting pays really well. But then it funds a little bit of this snake world. And then I kind of started looking at it like you're talking about, of what's either A, my highest costs, or B, my highest profitability. How do I chop down the costs, and how do I ramp up the profitability? And it was rodents. I was paying a fortune for them, not because they're priced unfairly, but because as I grew and grew snakes, you got to buy more and more rodents, and feeding day is always right around the corner. So, and then you mentioned that the rodents have a pretty high margin, and that's sort of baked into it. And then when you can start bringing the cost of the rodents down, your margins get higher and higher. With all that being said, here's the question of the whole episode. Like what is like, I was like, this is what I got to talk to Billy about. All those are like layers of an onion. Do you see a path, if somebody from a business standpoint, not a hobby standpoint, from a purely business standpoint, do you have to do that with ball pythons? Does there have to be layers and, what would you say, side hustles to the hustle kind of deal for it to work?
No, absolutely not. We could already been full-time with just this if we have more overhead, because we've been growing the quality of our animals so much. So we could have already profited really well with this, but we've been buying tons of our own animals, or tons of animals from other people, like selling everything we have and then holding back. Now we're actually starting to fill holdback racks with just our animals, and that's starting to lower the amount that we need to purchase. And we could have done this a long time ago, because I mean, 6 years ago, we were clearing, a good amount of money per year. But what we were doing, we're reinvesting every single dime of it. So
right.
We could have really already lived very well and put away a lot of money, but we want to do this on the elite level, the same way we've done the timber industry and other things that we've been into. And one, just because of the excitement of it. I mean, I absolutely passionate about it and I love
Right.
it. So I just, with the rodents and everything, I didn't want costs or anything like that, or the being necessary for you to have to sell an animal that you don't want to sell just to fund things. I want to sell things I want to sell and never have to sell something just because I have plenty of infrastructure. We baked all that into everything that we're doing, so we can hold on to animals and sell when we're ready to sell at prices we want to sell for. And that being said, it is a business and we're trying to make money, and we've got a sale going on right now. We just launched our kind of like our Black Friday sale that we do every year. We launched that Black Friday sale, so we have a pile of animals on sale right now that just went on this evening to Morph Market. But it's not because we do that this time every single year. It's the sales have been sporadic this year, but we've also this year had the best month we've ever had since we've been in business. So it's been really good.
That's funny because you said that same very line. I have the transcript right here from the last episode. You said that same line. This is good. You got to come on the show more often. I could just take a little cut,
Yeah.
you know, and we'll make.
You be my agent.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean it. Congratulatory, of course.
Thank you.
But okay. To my question, and then to your answer, though, does having those other layers did that allow you to reinvest in the way that you wanted to, versus, like you say, selling the best animals that you were making, or having to choose between holding back and losing money versus saying, you know what, I'm going to hold this one back, and then the money that I make, or the money that I can make on the ball pythons, I can reinvest because there's timber over here and there's rodents over here. And now, how many years in is this for you? 9, 10, 8, 10, somewhere in there?
We're at, this is 12 going on 13 in April.
Okay. Now that puts everything in a whole different context too. You're saying
Sandy was 4 and she was 4. So, it would be, it'll be 12 and then, no, it'll be 12 in April. I'm sorry.
Either way, that whole ballpark though, for you to say after 12 years, now we're starting to really hold back the stuff that we're making.
Exactly.
That's a decade, and nobody thinks about that. Everybody thinks, I'm going to buy this and this, and I'm going to sell this, X thousand number dollar of animal, and then I'm going to have Ferraris. That's not how it works, right? I mean, I haven't figured it out. Maybe somebody has, but I haven't figured that out. That's incredible, Billy. And why? Okay.
It isn't Adam from we weren't successful. We were very successful, but what we were doing is we were reevaluating the collection. So I didn't want to hold anything back to start with. I wanted to produce everything that we could, resell and reinvest. Because I mean, really, we did the opposite of a debt snowball. We snowballed the profit or the value of this collection, and we've just continued to do it and continue to do it. And I'm telling you, like the purchase of Kittinger's Reptiles was the biggest purchase we ever made at one shot, but only by $100,000. And he had a really nice collection, and that is a lot.
Yes, sir.
And I'm not making light of that, but I mean, what I'm saying is the purchases we've made, like we've been able to do that with our reptiles, and that's what you have to do. Like this is a business that unless you got enough money to go put it down, buy tons of animals, I mean, just tons of animals of really good, nice stuff. And I'm not saying like you got to have hundreds or anything like that, but you got to have high dollar animals for you to be able to do this. And it depends on what you live off of too. I mean, if you live off $20,000 a year, you don't have to have much. But if I have always done well because I've been an extremely hard worker. Like my normal days are 6 o'clock in the morning till about 1 o'clock at night. That's a normal day for me. But I mean, a lot of people don't want to live that way. And I don't judge the way you want to do things at all. But I know what's made our family successful is just being very passionate about what we do. There's not a business we own that we're not passionate about. There's not a thing we do that we're not passionate about and fully bought into. And we're just excited about where this is going and what we're doing with it. But it come from a very small amount of money that just kept snowballing and snowballing and snowballing. And like me and my wife, we weren't given anything. Everything we've got, we've worked for. So
Right.
nothing was there for us to invest but our own money. And I'd done well in the timber industry, so we put a certain amount of that, and then we've added a little bit to that out of that over the times. But now the snakes fully fund themselves, and now they're doing way more than just funding themselves.
Right, right. Let me ask you this: for somebody starting out to really, and I know that there's nuances and ins and outs, and maybe they stumbled into a new gene, but for 99% of people, if they're starting out, whether they have money or they don't have money, if they produce something, should they hold anything back at the start, or should they sell everything that they possibly can, get every penny they possibly can, and then buy the very, very best thing that they can, rinse, repeat for 5 years?
If they want to play at the very elite top level of the game, they need to, unless they buy into a project to where they are one of the leaders in the project, you sell absolutely everything just about it. But it comes a point, Adam, that high dollar animal isn't as valuable to you as much anymore. Like, you don't always have to go buy a $10,000 animal or $5,000 animal. You can there'll come a point to where you do not have to do that anymore. Adding something here and there to go along with it that's got the right mix in there will be just as valuable to you, because you don't have to. You can take some like just extra genes that have been out there and blend it into what you have and really do well off of it, and
Right.
And make your own projects out of that without having to just go out and purchase a head in a project. You just create your own projects. So it's a give and take on that. You've got to be able to do both.
Well, and right, I know that there's nuance to it. I know that the narrative, particularly in kind of the COVID era, was you're going to keep every female. You always keep every female. But then I asked the question, and I think it was actually Kai from Lucas Landon, who I really look up to, and he's been a good mentor and friend. And I just asked him point blank. I was like, can you just buy the better one and save yourself 1.5 or 2 years? And he was kind of like, yeah, you can. And so I've always wrestled with that, because like you say, you want something unique, or if you have something that's nearly unique, and then you get to a point where you can go, all right, I got this really incredible thing that maybe just needs, something new that's accessible. Mark Mandix in the audience. Maybe you just need Scrambler to go into it. Maybe you just need Java to go into it. And then you have this whole new world that you're the only one in. Is that kind of what you're saying on that topic then?
Absolutely. So yeah, if you're not leading it, you want to at least steer it into a direction that will put you in a leadership position in a project, or you've got to invest, and that's just the way it is. So that's what kept us. Like, you would think our first investment, huge investment, would have been like, say, the first one we did with Justin. It wasn't the top morse out there. It was breeders, proven breeders, so that we could produce stuff and start making some animals that we would profit from. So it was not the top of the list stuff. It was just good stuff. And that was our first stuff that we got into. Just like, I did get a pastel lace clown. That was a really nice male at the time, that was way back there. And we got a lot of the Batman project when Batman was super hot. That was a big driver for us. Them first to our first real business stuff, where we got past, this is a hobby, this is a business, as we transitioned from something me and my daughter just loved to an absolute family business. So yeah, I think for anyone that wants to do this as a business, you've got to push toward being at the top. This is a pyramid, but it's not a scheme, and you want to be as close to the tip as you possibly can, because all the money trickles up. And when it's not doing well, the money doesn't trickle up. So like, you're seeing it in this economy where money's not trickling up, animals aren't moving quite as fast as they were. That's why all breeders should always try to take care of everybody up under them and help them become better at what they're doing. Because if our pet people aren't doing well, Right now, what you're seeing is the high end animals are still selling and the low end animals are still selling pretty decent. But the middle of the stuff, you get around the $2,000 to $3,000 area, they're not selling as much as $5,000 and $6,000 animals, depending on projects. You know, all projects are different, but
Right.
that middle line right now is not moving as well as what it was.
I think I completely agree. I think that what 500 to maybe 700, well, let's say 700 to what 2,000, 2,500 is that's all moving. I mean, I hate to admit it, that's all moving towards that $1,000 to $800 mark at the moment. I mean, is that, I mean, maybe we don't see it because the auction price is the final selling price isn't posted, but is that what I'm feeling? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
that's the kind of thing, right?
It's just because of, and that's going to happen during this kind of economy. And I'm not going to be I'm never one that's going to say, man, you shouldn't sell a snake for this. You never know someone's position and
That's
what they're
right.
dealing with.
That's
I
right.
think they made that animal. They should do whatever they want to with that animal. So I'm not one to say any of that stuff. We do try to hold it because our people are investment. But I mean, everybody has to move some stuff out. You can't keep it. So in these times, we're going to move them, but then this is going to flip around. And when it does, then we're going to be more in the driver's seat of raising the prices back up a little bit. And I'm not saying they're going to be COVID prices, but the prices will be good again. This is a well-established business that's going through the exact same things that real estates went through, housing, restaurants, logging, like all of that stuff. Every business goes through up and down cycles, and this is just a world economy down cycle that will trend back up.
That could be like the whole show right there.
Yes.
You don't know what other people are going through. There's going to be markets ups and downs. You don't have the privilege of not experiencing difficult times and be ready when it comes around. Like that's it. It's right there. Right. That first part though is really, really important to me. You don't know either what other people are going through, every person's resources and availability of either money or lack thereof, the opposite. And we all, I think, love, if we look at this as an industry and not a hobby, and I'm not saying anybody should do one or the other, but we're in different positions in it. If we look at it as an industry versus a hobby, we all really appreciate the almost pure capitalism of it. It's largely unregulated. It's largely,
absolutely,
it is worth what somebody will pay for it right now. And we love that because we get to dictate what we do, right? So we can't chastise people when they make a decision based on that same philosophy, but they make it different than what we would make. That's hypocritical when I hear that from people. And honestly, like in everyday life, I have no problem with, this is going down an awkward place. I don't mean it to. We love this because of that free range. So if we start putting end caps on that free range, we go back to corporate life for that. If I want to put up with that headache, I can get paid way, way better to go live in that world and play those games, you know? So I appreciate you saying that. And I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but that's my own thoughts of, if we love it in one way, you gotta love it when it's not as convenient either, and respect somebody else's decisions. And that is like, I could see it at Tinley when there's a certain animal or a certain gene and one person's selling it for this price and it's wildly different over here. That's it. I can't get mad. I don't know what either person is on, and the power of their brand and their trust with their customers is what's going to pay off in the long run on that, I think, anyhow. And I think that's something that you guys have done very well. I think there is value in buying an animal from you, even if it's more than the next person over, because of you and your brand, what you've established. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, this industry is definitely like that. Anyone that establishes a brand, takes care of their customers, does a really good job of customer service, and truly cares. Like if you make mistakes or just anything happens, you correct them, you more than correct them. You really reach out and go above and beyond. We never are pushing. We want to sell snakes, but we're never like a pushy car salesman. We always want someone to get exactly what they want. If they come here looking for a pet, I try to steer them towards something that'll be calm and be a pet. If they want an investment animal, That's what I'm looking at putting them in, and trying to steer them toward doing things that'll actually help them make money. Because I have no reason not to want anyone to be successful, because if they're
Right.
not successful, they're not going to be your customer. So every single breeder out there, I have no breeder that I have any animosity towards whatsoever. I want everyone to be very successful and do very well. I view none of us as each other's competition. We're an industry that, as long as we bring in enough people, we're going to do very, very well. And that's where all our outreach needs to be, is bringing more people into what we do.
I agree with you. And I think it's a simple equation. When we see the same limited buyers, when we see the same, and it is limited. I mean, let's be honest. And I'm grateful when you're on the show, we tend to get around 1,000 views, which is fantastic. There's generally not 1,000 reptile ball python podcast viewers. It's generally the same 300 to 500 people. I recognize most people in the audience, which I love having. You guys keep me going for years on end, which is fantastic. But when you see that there are, let's say, 500 dedicated enthusiasts, that doesn't go far enough when Billy's producing more than 5,000 hatchlings and I'm 500 hatchlings and I'm producing almost to that number, and you're leaving it in the dust. And we're talking about that number of finite, real enthusiasts that are really dug in and are as enthusiastic as we are. And I look at other like niches and trends and that stuff. I could put a post on a guitar forum, on a Gibson Les Paul guitar forum, just a forum about one model of one guitar, and I'll get 12,000 views on just a mediocre everyday post. Hey, look at this picture of my 75 gold top. We don't have that vast viewership and consumership. So I think it's wildly important to let people get excited about blue-eyed Lucy's and bananas and pieds and wonder and let them start wondering, like, it's magic to them. It still goes back to that first moment. I see the smile on your face. Like, you're thinking about the first pied or the first banana that you saw that made you go, holy smokes, how does that work? It looks like a cartoon right there in somebody's hands, but it's alive and it's a real animal. How do I do that? And that's what we've got to have people be able to do and get enthusiastic about.
Adam, I try to, during our YouTube videos, is every now and then you'll see me pull out a normal that'll be hit several things, but it'll be a normal that's come out of a pairing. And I just want people to think about and remember what we've come from. Look at what this has come from. And yes, we still have some animals that brown out in people's collections, but imagine 10 years from now what we're going to be making, and how much crazier 10 years from now the public will be for these animals, as we all reduce house sizes and everything else. These kind of animals are going to continue to be more popular. Even though we're having a down cycle, all you have to do is stay positive. And if you want to make things happen, if you're truly passionate about it, you're not going to be so negative that you jump out of it right now. You'll stay in it and keep doing it when it's not doing well, if you're passionate and you love it. And the people that aren't doing that now and aren't willing to grind and if you're wanting dreams to come true, you have to do whatever you want to make those dreams come true. Like, we have hustled all kind of ways to grow Rice Reptiles. I mean, we've done anything that you can think of financially to grow the company. I can name all kind of things that we've done just to be able to grow and to do, get this to where we can have absolutely crazy animals, and we continue to do it. Like, I probably annoy Justin just constantly trying to upgrade the collection. He's like, let's slow down and not not upgrade as much right now. So anyway, like, the way I viewed this market, and like our purchase was, this recent purchase that we've done is right now is the same thing you do in any market that has fallen some. We're dollar cost averaging right now. We're lowering, we're reinvesting in stuff and really bringing up the quality of our genetic pool in our collection. While we have taken on more animals, it's not on purpose. It's a necessary evil of how we had to do this. And then we're just gonna downsize this back to a very elite collection, because man, the stuff we bought and the stuff that we have is totally different. So it's going to really blend. This last purchase is really going to blend well together.
Man, I was going to say, let's talk about that for a minute. So if the audience isn't aware, and you've been completely really public and transparent about this, you acquired a good percentage, a high percentage of Jason Kittinger's collection. And then
everything but his 2025 babies.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. So he has no breeders right now. Is that a fair statement to say?
That's right.
That's completely right. Wow. So Jason's going to sit tight for 3 years is what you're saying.
Yes.
That's, I didn't know that detail. I'm going to have to ask him about that.
Well, Jason is not out of it, but Jason is just kind of doing like same thing I'm doing. So like I've been in the timber industry 30 years this year. June will be 30 years. So I guess it's next year after its first year, but June of next year.
Sure.
But that's going to be 30 years for me in the timber industry. And it's not that I like it. I don't like that. I mean, that's what my dad and I did for 25 years together. I love the timber industry, but at the same time, there's things that I'm a little burnt out on. And this just gives me another whole, I'm driven by the process. I mean, people think that I do this stuff for money, but I don't even do the timber industry or this just for money. I do it. I love the process of what this is. I love the process of, yes, I love making the money, but it's more the process of getting to the money. You know, it's not really the actual end product that you have money. It's the product to the end product to me is just the process of going through it and watching it develop into what it is. You know, understand? Like I really like the feeling that you get from seeing this grow and build over all these years, and then the process of bringing in the customers and just all that stuff and developing these relationships. I mean, we went through this hurricane, this past year.
Yes, sir.
We had people all over this country reaching out, wanting to help us. And they were just great people. Like before our family even reached out to us, reptile communities reaching out to us. And I mean, I have family do great things for us too, but I mean, we got shell shock here, but it's really just, the process is very fun. And to be a snake breeder, a lot of the things you do is going to be, if you don't have an employee, you're going to be washing a lot of tubs.
Yeah, you're going to clean a lot of food.
Yes. And in doing that, though, you enjoy the process of watching your animals grow. You see them develop. You see their color change, and you get your ideas from there of where you go next, what you want to build. And if you don't enjoy those processes, you probably don't last and you burn out in this, especially as you grow. It becomes too much of a problem if you don't love it.
And it's not glamorous. There's moments that are,
no,
I wouldn't still say glamorous, but there's moments that are fun. There's moments sitting at Tinley or having that Wagyu steak before you kick off your Tinley show. That's pretty fun. That's amazing.
That's very fun.
But that's 3 hours in a 365-day year,
Mm-hmm.
And when you talk about the process, I kind of lit up that way too. We have some things in common. September 7th will be next year will be 30 years since my day one in restaurants. So our timeline is similar. And it's funny you said that about the process of kind of figuring out. I always say I like figuring out business. What I ended up doing in my career was this perpetual 7 to 8 year cycle where I would go to essentially, generally it was a distressed property or a new, something brand new. So I was fortunate to open TPC Sawgrass for the PGA Tour. That was brand new when we tore down the old clubhouse. But then I got poached to a private club that was sort of in the doldrums. And I enjoyed getting that private club out of the doldrums way more than just following the PGA Tour script. It was way more fun figuring it out. And then I did that again. And that's like, now I'm doing it with rodents, with snakes, with a car wash because I'm insane. And then my own consulting company. And that is, that really does resonate. And I don't ever
get it, Adam, when you get it totally fine tuned, it's still interesting, but it's not quite as interesting, right?
Well, it's almost like you feel like you have to shoot yourself in the foot. You're like, all right, this is too easy. Let me go find something else that's broken, or let me break something. Mm-hmm. Like, it's like, my wife laughs at me about this because, I told her one time, we had been married a few years, and I said, I'm going to draw up a plan because I want to retire when I'm 52. And she literally laughed in my face. And I said, babe, I'm not working hard to work this hard forever. I want to enjoy life. And she goes, I have no doubt that you'll make the money you need to retire by 52. She goes, you won't stop. You will never retire. You might be taking Social Security. You're going to have some side hustle. You're going to figure out what to do with it. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm ever going to travel the world because I'm just going to do stuff, And she's of course exactly right. It's been about 12 years since that conversation, and she's right. So when you say that, I appreciate it, and I chuckle to myself. As for maybe for content for the audience, what are can you share some like really specific examples of either you got going and then you said, all right, it's pretty good. Let me look around here. What can I either lower cost on, increase margins on, or save myself time on? That's really how you make money. I mean, it's not that much rocket science. There's only so many things. There's only so many levers that you can move. And those are typically the three. If I'm consulting and I go into a distressed property, all right, what are you paying too much for? What are you spending too much on? And what are you wasting too much time on? Let's make that list and work on that for 2 years. I bet you do pretty well, kind of deal. But what are some instances you've seen that are like real specific to our world?
All right. So just project based, so winning on a project is very big. So the Lace project is something that we really won on. We hit the market just right. And we brought in one breeder male, and people think, you keep this male forever. Okay. So this male bred for me for 8 months. I sold probably, 27 to 35,000, somewhere in that area, worth of animals off of him. Hit several world firsts, held all that back into the collection. And that's the offspring that we're starting to see today. So in an eight-month window, I had one animal come into the collection, make me, 30-something thousand dollars or more. And then he moved right on to another really great breeder, and in 8 months period, and we were able to use that money we invested off of him, rolled right off of Lace stuff right into Pompeii stuff, and we just rolled another stuff like that in there. And it wasn't actual Pompeii. We brought in 2 males that just had the ingredients to make the stuff, and it was really high-end males at the time. But that's where we won. We held back breeders off of that, things like that. Another thing that we've done as far as like really winning and helping the business a lot is like lowering our costs, like with our food and stuff. That was a big deal with rodent food. And then also being able to use like our rodent facility person helping us in the snake room. So the person that runs our rodent facility also comes into the snake room and helps us with full cleans, which gives us more marketing and more time to promote ourselves. And that's been a big boost in what we've been able to do. And YouTube's done a lot for us. Instagram and YouTube, we sell tons of snakes through Instagram and YouTube.
Yeah. So 2 points in there. Freeing yourself, like making the animals is one thing. I have found there are bedroom breeders out there producing bangers. Like you just like, how have I never heard of this person? And most people, myself included, I wrestle with finding the time to market the animals that I produce. I think I produce solid stuff. I'm not, but it almost doesn't matter how good of an animal you're producing if you don't have the time to market it and to get your name front and center and to be front of people's minds when they go, I might want to buy a ball python today. Who am I going to look at? You got to be at the front of their mind there. And
we're still failing there, Adam. So that's something that's where we should be 20 times better than what we are right now. And it's because of my lack of time. My lack of time is hurting us. So what business is it that's pulling too much of my time is something that I'm juggling to figure out, how to streamline this and make it even better, because this should be even way better.
Is it cost prohibitive? It seems overly simple. Is it cost prohibitive to just hire stuff out, whether it, not the marketing part. I think in marketing, and by the way, Stephen, thank you for the $10 in the jar. And Stephen would have a great opinion on marketing insight. I think the people are the magic in marketing. I can speak to the fact that sitting in a basement with 2 banners behind you, you can reach a whole bunch of people. You just got to do it. You got to commit to doing it every week, week in and week out. And I do that. So I think that the person themselves is the magic. Is it cost prohibitive or trust prohibitive, or do you not trust people around your animals to do the spot cleaning, to do the facility day-to-day work that I get it. I'm spending 5-6 hours a day in my facility a lot of times. And I'm like, I don't have time to market. And then at 11 at night, I'm trying to set up shows with, Dawn. She's probably like, Adam, stop messaging me at this time of night, like just filling all that in. How do you see that in your business? Does spending on labor make sense, or is labor so expensive that sometimes you say, I'll get there, I'm just not there yet, and I'm going to go do this work myself?
So that's something to where you have to balance. That's one of the magic questions on balancing both the growth of your business and where you are, as far as, will you do way more because of that, or do you need that money that you're paying that person to help you get a little better than what you are? So that's something that I am at a point now where I've got to do more of that, more of pushing myself, more of putting Rice Reptiles out there, and chanting my daughter and wanting to do more of that and continue to learn. That's something that I'm at the point where I need to do that stuff. But I'm still so involved with the other stuff, and I'm training right now on the logging side to move more toward that. But that's something where it's a family business, so I can get out of that. But at the same time, I'm the only family left on it because my dad, just passed away. So that's why, guys, if you've not been seeing us on YouTube, I want to apologize again. I said we were starting it up this week, but we're just too behind on our animals. My father had prostate cancer, battled it for a lot of years, and he just passed us the week before last. So we're going through that right now as a family, but we're good. We're totally good. Definitely hurt because he's was with me every day doing that. So we're definitely hurt because I loved him to death, but at the same time, I was raised right and got the right morals and ethics instilled into me to know we carry on and take care of our kids now. So we're good, and appreciate everyone that supported us through that. But I want to apologize for that not being on YouTube, because that's something that we've prided ourselves on not missing any of our videos, and I appreciate that. But yeah, we've prided ourselves on not missing any of our videos and getting our content out there. But that's something that we're not even, like, we need to be able to create better content and have more time for it, but we're just so busy. And
Right.
Our deal is right now we just have too many animals, and it's because of our purchase, but that purchase wasn't to grow the collection. It was to grow the quality of the collection. So tons of animals after I get over what we've had to deal with over the last couple of weeks, and just sorting through Jason's collection and blending the stuff with ours. There's going to be tons of animals released, so everybody's going to really benefit from this. We're really going to push out tons of breeders.
Thank you for sharing that with us. I think I speak for everybody when we say that, as I told you privately before, our condolences, and thanks for being here and sharing that tonight. As much as guys like you and I think you and I are wired a little bit similar. Maybe I'm giving myself too much credit, but I get antsy if I'm relaxing. I'm like, yes. I get too much opportunity out there. I'm wasting that opportunity if I relax. Like if I'm watching football, which I love, I've got my computer in front of me and I'm doing something on it business-wise. But I've also found to be true in times like this, that stuff will be there for you tomorrow. You'll still need to market tomorrow. If you need to take a deep breath, just not literally, but just philosophically on your head, that stuff will be there. And I know you'll figure it out. And I know that you have been through some real challenges with storms and I'm sure stuff that we don't even know about, but the stuff that we know about. So I know you're resilient, but it'll be there and nobody will judge you for taking a little moment to yourself. I think I speak for everybody if I say that too. So I actually want to ask you about Instagram, YouTube, Morph Market, Palm Street, and any other platform and strategy that you want to talk about. There's a variety of places and ways to sell, and you guys you hit them all. And I would like to pick your brain on that. So I'm going to pay a couple bills if it's all right to do a little. It's not halftime because we've already been at this an hour, Billy. It feels like 5 minutes. We've already been at this an hour, but we're going to take just a moment. Like say, audience, let me tell you about a couple brands that are supporting our industry and the people in our industry from within. So if you wouldn't mind checking out these brands, they've been taking care of Proper Royals and our industry, some of them for many, many years. And I have to give a shout out. I don't give enough love to them on this show because they sponsor the Thursday morning show and one of my other Instagram channels. But Cold Blooded Cafe, this November will be 5 years that I've been a customer of theirs and 4 years that I've been in business with them. So go check them out. Proper 11 is the current code. It never expires. If you spend $200, you get free shipping. If you spend $200 and you use the code Proper 11, I just put out a reel yesterday or today showing the evidence of why I like rodents from Cold Blooded Cafe and all the years of expertise in procuring high quality food for humans that still applies to high quality food for our animals. So go check out Cold Blooded Cafe. Huge thanks to them and that team. And like I say, they don't get enough love on this particular show sometimes. And they don't get enough love and my camera won't focus and do the cool, like slow focus thing. It's supposed to focus over my eyes. Cold Blooded Cafe, Proper 11, Proper, the word, and 11 all together. Get yourself free shipping on orders over $200. Temps are changing out there. If you need reptile experts that care about you and your animals, that are knowledgeable, I think most shipping companies care about you and your animals, that are knowledgeable about your animals, that are reptile enthusiasts, that are knowledgeable about shipping your animals and have the supplies to help you, and a phone number where you can call them and the institutional relationships to help in tough times if issues do arise. That is why I use Redline Shipping. They are now integrated with Palm Street and I believe on Reptile Ads as well. So anyhow, check out Redline Shipping wherever you buy and sell your animals. And you can go to redlineshipping.com. Check out their customer interface. It's quick. It's easy. Supplies are on there. And again, phone number for expert help that you can get with should you need it, should you want that. Sundog Serpents, that is Josh and Sarah. They are down in Orlando. I've been doing business and vending with them for 4 years now as well. I bought animals from them. They bought animals from me. We actually have a breeding project going on this year for a clown monsoon project, which is pretty cool to say out loud. Hearing Billy talk about trying to be at the front of some projects. It's a pretty cool opportunity. But go check out their Morph Market page for their inventory as well as their Instagram pages. They are specializing in TSK clown project ingredients as well as some visual and het ingredients that you could see on there. Puzzle clutches have come as well as super asphalt projects they are working on. That's Sarah and Josh at Sundog Serpents. Reagan Renee Royal Pythons. Keep an eye out. That is Charlie Ryan up in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. He's going to be on the show I'm waiting to hear some feedback, but either next week or sometime in December. So working out the schedule, but Charlie will be on. Reagan Renee Royal Pythons. Do me a favor, if you would, go to ReaganRenee.com. Just the two names, ReaganRenee.com. He's got all his inventory on there, and he's got some perks for you. If you go there, everything on ReaganRenee.com is free shipping if you buy through ReaganRenee.com. There's tons of ways to pay, including Afterpay. Holidays are coming. I heard Billy say defer some costs. I'm not saying go in debt. Watch your credit cards there. I don't know how Afterpay works, but it's available on there for for you if you buy through reaganrenee.com. And last but not least, I think the promo code is proper10. Message me if you're going there. I'll confirm what it is, but he's going to give you 10% off too on top of all of that. So his full inventory is there. Charlie's working on Kryptons, DG, G-Stripe, Candy, Pied, and Clowns in single, double, and triple ingredients. So go check him out as well. Keeper Kane is the newest advertising partner here on Tuesday nights. He'd love for you to check out his YouTube channel. It's just called Keeper Kane. And he is a ball python breeder, but he's got big snakes. He's got aquatics. He's got tarantulas. It's all documented there. And he's very active in Patreons. If you're in any of the industry Patreons, you've probably come across him. It's always family friendly, always pretty uplifting stuff, pretty honest and direct, I have to say, to his credit. I really enjoy him. I enjoy his support and his friendship. Go check out Keeper Kane. You can also see his inventory on Morph Market and follow him on Instagram, but the YouTube channel is what he'd love for you to check out. Last but not least is the original advertising partner for Proper Royals. That's BNS Reptilia. That's Chris Shelley. Chris is a ball python breeder, but also specializes in blood pythons, locality boas, colubrids of all shapes and sizes, the Pituophis, the bull snakes, and the pine snakes, if you know what those are. He will have the permit information for your locality if, depending on your state jurisdiction. He'll be able to educate you on that. If you need the proper paperwork from him, he has that and can educate you on that as well for the Pituophis. And he is the regional distributor for the Chipper Cocoa in Pennsylvania. And he can help you out if you're in that regional area or if you want to become your own regional distributor of the Chipper. Much like Billy was talking about earlier with his rodent food, you can get in touch with Chris about that, and he'll point you in the right direction and help you on that. Thank you to all the advertisers. They literally help keep the lights on. They literally help bring me back every week. Audience, you guys are the ones that truly bring me back every week. We learn together, we grow together, support each other. I'm so thankful for this space on Tuesday nights. And I'm humbled that people like Billy Rice will come hang out with me, let me pick their brain, and just get a chance to be ourselves in our own little circle where we could just be as geeky as we like and break out as much, dig into as much information as we like. So thank you guys so much. In the coming weeks, I've got Chris from Wide River Reptiles coming on the show. I mentioned Charlie Ryan from Reagan Renee Royal Pythons. I'm working with Winston on WHS, figuring out when we can make our schedules work. And I think Lace from Waste Balls is going to be on pretty soon too, where sometimes we just need to remember to have a little fun in our lives with what we're doing. And I think they'll help us with that too. So fun finish to the year coming up. Billy, thanks for your patience. Thanks, audience, for sticking around. I do read all your comments. I love to engage with the guest and really kind of stay focused with the guest, but I do keep an eye on the comments. Thank you guys. Stay active over there. I appreciate your interaction and participation. So, Billy, there are, and there's probably others that I'm leaving out, but you've mentioned YouTube and Instagram and really kind of had a twinkle in your eye talking about YouTube. What do you see working? Why does it work? Why does one platform, I don't want to say work better than another. Why does one platform fit a certain scenario or maybe fit a certain animal, or what scenarios fit each other? Talk a little bit about that sort of mindset that you have using those various platforms.
So with YouTube, it's just it really allows people to feel like they've already met you. You get that just real organic growth of your company, where when you meet someone for the first time, they feel like they've already known you for years, because you're right there on YouTube in front of them every day. And I think that's where YouTube is best. One, you're showing off projects every time you're on there, showing off something with your animals or tips to people to help them, or just anything that you can come up with, that's gonna be valuable to your subscribers. And then on top of it, you get that just direct personal connection. Then with Instagram, you're reaching. YouTube's reaching the same thing, but Instagram's just quick views of just beautiful animal after beautiful animal that you produce, which really gets lots of followers and lots of people reaching out to you. We do tons of our international sales go through Instagram. that's where the vast majority of all international sales are made. I would say it's probably eight out of 10 international sales are made there. Then Morph Market, of course, is a great platform. I mean, that's where we eat and eat from. I mean, that's the bread and butter. I mean,
Right.
that's the place that really just sells the bulk of our animals. I can't tell you what Morph Market means to us. And then Palm Street is also something we really like. I really love it and the platform that it is, for the fact that not only can you educate there, but you can do just like what you're doing, where you're connecting with your audience. And then on top of it, you can show projects off. You don't have to just constantly be about a sale, but if you make a sale, there's just a small fee, and you do not have to go on there and sell a ton of animals. Like, I've had breeders say, like, you were on there and you showed, like, 60 animals and 70% of them went back on the shelf. And I'm like, of course.
So I keep going, because I don't want to bias this conversation, and you're exactly on the right track. Keep going on that. Yeah.
So they're like, 70% goes back on the shelf. I'm there protecting our investors and also protecting our projects and things like that. I'm not there giving away animals. I'm giving deals on good animals. So and then we're selling even at retail on there. So I mean, we're seeing every single walk of life on that. It's a platform that I think really has tons of potential even further into it, and it's not as good as it was to start with, but it's only because this economy is not good right now. Morph Market, that platform with Palm Street will be great for just tons of ways that you can absolutely use it and configure it to promote your business. I mean, it's the sky's and imagination's the limit with that.
Yeah. And if anybody wants to get inspired, forget even if you use it or not. I do think you should use it, but if you forget even if you use it or not, if you want to get inspired for creative selling techniques and marketing, just go to Palm Street, not even in the reptile section. Just go to Palm Street and see the creative output there it's next level for me. Like I find a lot of inspiration just scrolling through it and seeing what's going on. But you bring up a really, really valid point. And I've gotten a little bit jaded with some of the feedback. And I found myself thinking to myself, I've never said this to somebody, but I found myself thinking to myself, yeah, if you're looking for a shortcut where you get rich doing less work, I'm sorry to let you down. That was never the promise. That was never part of the pitch. But if you're looking for a way to reach, like you say, all walks of life, but a new audience, and they have a massive platform of sort of similarly wired people. If people will pay $4,000 for plants on Palm Street, those are our people. I need them to wonder what a banana and a pied is. Like I could talk to those folks, and they are there, and it's well established. I mean, years and years. It's incredibly well funded. I mean, like, I think their own blog said they recently raised around a 25 million investment money. Like,
wow.
It's not going anywhere. So anyway, thanks for sharing that. And to not be cynical whatsoever. Unless you go to an expo and wholesale everything, 60% of your stuff is coming. I don't know about you. I would kill for an expo that I only bring 60 or 70% back home from. Like,
exactly.
You know what I mean? And again, I could sell every one of them for $1 a piece and be like, yeah, I sold them, but that's not my goal. That's not what I'm interested in. So, I warn people to temper their expectations. If you're looking for a shortcut where you get rich, I don't have that answer. I've never had that answer, and I'm always skeptical of that answer. So, anyhow, YouTube. Who do you see? Is there a demographic or a metric that you can assign to the buyers that you see on YouTube? Do you see that as first-time pet enthusiasts? Do you see it everybody? It's just another way to reach everybody.
It's everybody that I've seen. I mean, it's literally it's it's our international people. It's every single walk of our. If it's people, I guess it has to be someone that's interested in YouTube, or they don't find you, right? And lots of people use YouTube for anything they're doing. If you're doing something to your house, you YouTube it. If you're doing something to your car, you YouTube it. So
Right.
we're really getting every walk from YouTube. I can't like, we've got families that invest with us on pet level. We have it on we have international customers that are buying like really proven high-end stuff, like wanting breeders too, just every aspect of it that you can think of has been on YouTube.
Um, I it's the same conversation we were just having. I just have to find time to get back to it. And I've been taking the past 2 years have been nothing but projects. Move into Minnesota, move everything here. Then a year ago, buy a car wash, renovate a facility. Notice there's no racks around me anymore. They're all in the new facility. And it's like, man, I'm missing doing some of the regional shows. Even like I've noticed the calls outside of the actual show themselves. This time last year when I was doing maybe 5 more regional shows than I did this year, I would get intermittent calls. Hey, you got ASFs. Hey, you got animals. What is this? I saw you list this. What do you got there? Can I come by your shop? Check this out. And I'm like, okay, those things where I'm customer facing have got to come back. It doesn't matter what kind of palace I build. If I'm not interacting with the customers, they're not going to be there. I've got to get the stuff back out in front of them. On your YouTube content, what are you doing on there? Is it a, hey, here's how is it a, like you say, you search how to do stuff. Is it a, hey, here's how we do this? Or is it an educational, hey, here's a talk about this gene? Or is it, hey, here's recent clutches, check them out, guys, and here's why we're excited about them? What are you doing on there?
That's our biggest thing, is we're doing clutch reveals on there. So that's our biggest deal. I want to put more time and energy into it to where we can do more of more educational stuff and things like that. But it's really, we're throwing in as much YouTube content as we can at the end of just super busy weeks, or it's just been insane. And a lot of times we'll be pouring sweat while we're trying to make those videos from just finishing cleaning or something like that. So that's something that we've talked about a lot recently, is getting it away from finding a time during the week to really hone in and make those a lot better. So we just do uncut, unfiltered, and we feel like that's been very good. We make our mistakes. We do a lot of intros that I just have to start over because I get mad that I said something wrong. But if I get through the intro and we make mistakes, we're just going to laugh them off because we've done that.
If you ever get down on yourself, you can always come back to this episode and just be like, I'm just going to watch Adam fumble around for 3 minutes.
No, we enjoy it though. I enjoyed making the videos. It's just, I want to be able to devote more creative time to that, to be able to make them better. And that's something that we're really struggling with. And it's due to just juggling too much right now. And it's really been since the Kittinger acquisition has just really pushed us up too many animals. And, we knew that coming in. That's why we went ahead and started the hatchling room and subadult room for all animals that are for sale in our pool house, but it's also our entertainment area for that, so that when people come in, we can
area.
We can hang out and just have a good time there. It's right by our pool, so it's just a good area where we can grill and just invite guests and friends over. Then on top of that, we built all that infrastructure, so it's all that just transition, and then getting all this stuff and getting it into our system, getting everything back on food from a move. There's little things that you don't think of that take a lot of time. It took me an entire day just to enter those animals into the computer and make the tags for them. I mean, it took me from 7 in the morning until about 2:30 or 3 o'clock just to make all the tags.
I believe you. I got, I don't know, 5 or 6 clutches that I just have. So my process is, when I set them up in the bins, I just put painter's tape on it and put the clutch and then the number. So, 2542-1, and then I'll ID it and I'll sex them later, but I want to get them eating, get them going. It doesn't matter what their morphs and their sex are. I need them eating, and I'll get the others. And I'm like, it's not even procrastinating, just too much. And show, I just went through a really big showtime, but a big run of shows over the past 2 months. So yeah, just getting like 6 or 8 clutches entered in. It's a whole day of identifying, entering, print the label, sex, and then double check and make, that you got it right to the best of your ability as well, because it starts getting blurry. Did I click male? Did I click female? I'm pretty sure I did. I wrote female. Did I click female? Oh, you turn into a zombie staring at the screen,
We literally had, so we produced some wholesale animals here that we release into the, thank you, Will and Audra, man. You guys are awesome.
They're great people. Will and Audra, I hope you guys
awesome.
are well. I was thinking about them today because I got it said scam likely, not that they're scammers, but it was from Forest City, North Carolina. That's right by Rutherfordton, where Audra's from. I said, wait a minute, I know a little something about Forest City. So, but that made me think of y'all. Thank you for the kind gesture there. Thanks very much, guys.
So one of the issues, like with us recently, with being just so busy and not able to do as much of it, is not only did we bring that stuff in, but we're at the peak time of all our hatchlings.
Yes, sir. That's right.
So we had 58 wholesale animals go out. I had too many in stock, and we had 58 wholesale animals leave the facility. And at that same time, 1 week later, replaced it with 58 hatchlings. No lie.
Yeah.
Then a few weeks after that, another 30 something hatchlings. And because we've never had that many clutches hatch at one time. This is by far the biggest year we had. I think we ended up with 143, and that's more than we want.
That's a whole lot of animals.
Yes.
There. Yeah, that is a lot. Do you find the longer that you have the same breeders, and I mean the females in the facility, that do they concentrate their clutches? Like, do they sink? Do they seem to be like narrowing, or is it's all year round?
If they're narrowing, you're narrowing it. If you're getting everything that you can get out of a collection, you're breeding year round.
Right.
You're breeding year round because your females are going to go when they go. And if you're not on top of it, when a female here in our collection hits 1,500 grams, or even before that, if they're at 1,250, I start ultrasounding every single one of them once a month for the rest of their life. Right. Until we get a lay day,
once we get a lay day,
when we get a lay day,
that's different.
So if they're a female that lays 4 years later, a female that doesn't go in her first 2 years like most of them will, we're going to keep ultrasounding her every month for 2 years of her life, until we get a clutch out of her. But I think that's why we have a huge go rate with our females. Like we have really, that's why we hit so many animals. If our go rate wasn't near as high, we wouldn't have had near that turnout. That's why we had many held back. So now we're just, the focus from here out, now that we've gotten to the level we've gotten to with it, is last year we were able to release 60 breeder females out of the collection. And we really want to turn that up to where a female maybe gives us 2 clutches of eggs. If she's really good, maybe 3, and then they're no longer here. We have lots of turnover. That'll help our customers that are invested in really high-end breeders, and then it'll also help us really fine-tune the collection and bring the genetics up to where we want them to be.
And that's to say that after 3 years, in theory, that female would be obsolete for your needs, but not physically
perfect for someone
incapable.
else.
Right. She's still in her prime. She's fine for another decade or whatever. So
or longer.
You're right, or longer. Exactly. Billy, some quick fire questions for you. What's your preferred rodent, or do you have different rodents at different needs or different times in the breeding cycles? Or life cycles, for that matter.
Norwegian rats. That's if they'll stay on that, I am super happy.
Okay, all right. No ASFs around in your world.
It's illegal to have them here, but we have mice and fancy sulfurs.
I hear you. Okay, all right, fair enough. Then I'll leave it at the Norwegian rodents. You said 140 was a little more than you wanted. What's your target goal on the number of clutches?
It really I want to do less than that for sure. I don't really have a target. What I want my target to be is I'm happy with all the projects that I have going. And I feel like I've left too much fat in the room. Like I need to cut that away and
Yeah.
really get it lean. And that's just because I want to produce amazing animals all the time. I don't want to produce as many like this year. I really was focusing on, and that's the reason why we had as much wholesale stuff is I was putting, visual females that were double head, visual females that are triple head. They're going on the shelf, or double visuals that are double head, things like that. We're putting those kind of type of females on the shelf as much as possible this year. Really held, we filled up. So this is the first time. I think last year I commented that we held back 40 something females.
Mm-hmm.
This year we have, I think, 75 or more, and we're not near through with our hatching. So
Right.
so we're way we're where we want to be now. We're producing a lot of our males versus going out and buying them, and that's big when you get to be doing, when you're doing that, because now we really can just invest in the right females, or a really big project if we want to, a really high end genetic like
Something
that.
brand new. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And everybody can do that. That's we talk. I'm talking a lot tonight about business and high end stuff. If you're dreaming of doing this, you absolutely can start on the low end of this and work your way up. You just need to get with someone that'll help you get into genetics that will, not that anybody can do it and know the market perfectly, but somebody that cares enough to make you successful with the genetics they sell you. And that if you do that, you'll get a great jump on making money in this industry. But then you've got to be willing to put in the work and hustle until you see this through to fruition and into a real business.
There's been I won't say who, because I try and balance private friendship conversations with sort of public reporting, which I don't think I'm a reporter. I find this as entertainment and hopefully educational. But there was somebody that was hosting us at their house, and a very well-known breeder. And there was a moment where I was like, what am I even doing? What am I even working? So I'm sure, so like you get excited at what they're doing, and then you're like, how am I ever going to get here? And they have a wonderful entertainment area. And I was, just enjoying the evening. And I said to the host, I said, how long did it take you to, like, how long you been in this house? This is really like got your fingerprint all over it. And he said, well, we moved here with the snake, and we moved here and got the snakes 26 years ago. And I was like, oh, it takes time. Give me 26 years. I'm going to be slaying it too, And this is genuinely someone I look up to and hold in the highest esteem. And so sometimes that's really important. Just get started and people figure it out. And there's going to be bumps. And again, earlier in the show, audience, if you missed it, there was a moment with Billy where I was like, 12 years you're talking about just now hitting a certain a point of reducing your cost of goods sold by buying less, sourcing less, and producing your own that you're holding back. So it's definitely a long run, and enjoying the ride, I think, is important when I hear from you as well, man. That's it's a really, really cool thing. With all that being said, what are genes or combos or projects that get you excited? And I'm sure there's 99 of them, but if you were to talk about one for 2 or 3 minutes, what's something that gets you excited, and why? And the why can be, it's amazing. It doesn't have to be any more complicated if that's what it is. But what's something that gets you going right now?
Right now, it's still the same thing I've been on for like 4 years now, is lace. And I'm just excited to have lace into absolutely every project that we're working with. It doesn't matter what it is, lace makes everything better. And we had a lot of negative side effects of lace, and kind of like scramblers getting now from like the start of it, not having a test and things like that. But lace, now you have a test for, so there's no reason not to just work with it. And I think it will really bounce back as the must-have gene. We like it rivaling Desert Ghost, like in a dead heat together. It's that important, I think, into the future of ball pythons, because it doesn't constrict pattern, and it allows animals to express themselves while also adding amazing contrasted animal. And then it also creates a crazy belly pattern on animals. So I'm super excited about our puzzle project stuff and where we're going with that sunset
Cool.
project stuff that I haven't been excited about, but now like with Leviathan there and other people hitting sunset ultramel stuff.
Yeah, you see the right thing and suddenly you get excited, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
And that's
right.
that's what I say, you know, like I'm never gonna be one. I may stay out of a project and it's just because I don't know where to go with it yet. It
Right.
doesn't mean it's not a great project. So I won't knock a project. I'll just say I don't like that project yet.
Yep.
Because I mean, we've seen that like with leopard and pieds. So we didn't like leopard and pieds, but as you go into like clown pieds and deeper into like desert ghost pieds and desert ghost clown pieds, leopard's really nice with the boldness that it makes and the blacks and the patterns and things like that.
Sure.
So it's always you just like well, we also hit like a pinstripe hurricane clown that had a few more codoms in it this year, and that thing was amazing. It kind of to me rivaled like a monsoon clown, looked like a little better version of that. So I think just sometimes we haven't taken that extra step with each one of these genes. And if you like a gene and you're trying to figure it out, work with it a little longer and see if you because sometimes you're gonna let it go and fall and you'll fall short of what could have been absolutely amazing. That doesn't mean keep everything either though.
I mean, it's hard to know. I mean, you talk about lace and I don't have any lace and I've never worked with it. And I agree with you completely. And I own Scrambler and I love Scrambler. I'm very, very excited about Scrambler. There's going to be I call it a lace moment with Scrambler. There's going to come a time where every bright orange something has gotten labeled Scrambler and somebody's tried to make money on it. And then there's going to be I call it a lace moment. So anyway,
we like Chris Herndon a lot. We really enjoy spending time with him. So with us, you know, someone asked me, you know, is this gene legitimate and everything? And I'm like, I don't know how to ID it good yet, but if you look at his animals on his table and how beautiful and orange they are, I mean, do you want if you like the way they look and you see them standing out here at the show above a lot of animals that are here at the show? I mean, if it isn't Scrambler, then he's got the best like orange dream stuff on the planet. So like
that was my thing with Marcus Jane. I don't care what you call this stuff. I don't care. I would like to know what it is so that I can have a plan and a path. But whatever it is in that animal. Is it the combo? Is it the line? Is it a unique gene? I don't care. I want to recreate what is there and I want to figure out how to make that better in my own image.
I'm not like a genetic master, but right. But to me, like in every other lines of animals, like carpets or hognose or just anything that you can think of, they're breeding the best color and best things like that to each other. And we're doing in the ball python industry, we hold back our best. Right. But so if we are creating lines that are better than others, that's what we should be doing, right? Like it shouldn't be something that it should be discussion, but in positive ways. So like even if Scrambler wasn't a thing and he did create the best orange dream line, I think we all should be proud that someone worked with a line and made it a line. But you know, we're seeing stuff with the Scrambler, like Bob has it. I mean, I know a lot of people working with it. So like I definitely think Scrambler is a thing for sure. But when we get a test, you know, if we can get a super made so we can get a test there, this is what's crazy is this has popped out with all these genes in it. Now we're having to reverse.
Right. You got to go back to the basic of it. Yeah.
Which is cool.
It is cool. And I think, don't get me wrong. I love shed testing. Obviously I love shedtesting.com. I neglected, guys, to mention earlier, use a promo code proper10. You get yourself 10% off of 2 orders. You can order as many shed tests as you want in there. Charlie has also recently lowered his prices. You could do a recessive panel, 10 test recessive panel, $85, $8.50 per test. Go check that out. I think it spoiled us. Can you imagine before shed testing, seeing Scrambler going, well, I don't care what it is. It's in there. I'll figure it out. And we're going to figure out how to make beautiful stuff with it. Now we're like, well, there's not a test and somebody's going to lie. I'm not going to deal with it. And the price is going to do this and that. Like Scrambler is one of those, whether they're combos, genes, whatever it is, those animals are some of the first things that in a long time have like stopped me in the aisle and gone, I don't care what is that animal and how much is it? Let me figure, because if I can afford it, I'm probably going to buy it. And then I'll backtrack what to do with it. And I think that like those magical moments, like we were talking about earlier, the first time we saw a banana or a pied or a banana pied or whatever, when those moments of magic happen, we got to seize them and figure like, that's the inspiration. That's that passion. That's that twinkle in your eye. So anyway, yada, yada, yada. I own some Scrambler now because of all of those things that we've just said. So, let me think, what else? I need like a real like banger finish up question here. I promised you a 90-minute, show, and, we are close on that. If not a little bit over, actually. Here you go. Talk us through this. Lord knows there are narratives in our industry from within. There are narratives outside from people looking in. And then there's data, and then there's individual brands doing great things regardless of any of the narratives. I think that you're one of those brands, and I've always respected you for that. Talk a little bit about that. Talk a little how you navigate through that, what you pay attention to or don't pay attention to, what's important to pay attention to or not pay attention to, and kind of wrap it up with your big picture, I suppose. Does that sort of make sense? You kind of feel what I'm getting at there?
Yes. So, I mean, the biggest thing for us is quality over quantity, and then also customer care. So that's the number one thing driving us is, one, our whole business model is we want to put you in business to be successful. So everything we do here is to allow our customers to be successful. If you're not being successful and you're buying from us, you're not hitting us up and asking us enough questions so we can help you to be successful. Because that's the number one goal of our family business, is to create any individual or any family doing exactly what they want to do. So that's our big picture of it, is to make this reptile industry be absolutely all that it possibly can be, and to enjoy the company of all these breeders and all these good people we get to know, and all the people that are negative right now and that are down on this market. Like, even when we did our purchase, we had some messages like, well, Jason was the one that really won there. But that's not at all what we want in this industry, for this industry. For people to be negative, that those kind of people will fall to the wayside because they're not passionate about what we're doing. So everybody that's feeling like strain on themselves right now in this market and in this time, double down on what you love in this. If it's parts of it you don't love, narrow it down in what you're doing, and then the avenues you're doing, narrow that down so you can focus on the love and the passion that will drive you through this time. And don't let it always be about profits, because if you do the right things and you treat people the right way, everything will come back to you, and you will grow, and the profits will come. It's about the process and the journey.
Billy, good for you. I couldn't have said it better, and good for you sounds patronizing. Like, genuinely, I'm happy for you, and thank you for taking that stand. Thanks for the generosity with your time. You guys are, and I say you guys, I mean you, Don, Channing. You guys are great. You've always just been a real pleasure to work with in person. You're the same person in person as you are everywhere else. I see you. You're generous with your time and your insight, and thank you. We're in a better place with you guys in the world here in our world.
That.
So
this is one of our favorite shows. So we appreciate what you put on and the questions that you ask, and we're happy to be a part of it. And anytime you want me here, I'll be here. I promise you.
Well, I appreciate it. That means the world to me. And if you got 5 minutes, stick around in the green room for just a second, maybe for a brief conversation, and thank you and that stuff. Audience, do me a favor, go check out Rice Reptiles if you aren't already. You should be, but if you aren't already, and not everybody knows everything, and there's new faces and all of that, go check them out. All the platforms, Rice Reptiles. You won't find better people, and you'd be hard pressed to find people doing better stuff too in the snakes, but you certainly won't find any better people. We'll be back here same time, same place next week. Audience, I can't say thank you enough. Hope to see you soon, and thanks everybody. I appreciate it. See you next time.